Favorite Takes, a podcast about Degrassi, The Next Generation. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Holland. And today we're going to continue talking about Season 2 minis, episodes 5 through 8. So let's just dive on in to the best mini in existence.
Oh my god, so Holland and I have watched this one so many
countless
times that we did not really need to take notes at all.
No, so episode 205, Diary of Jay Hogart. Literally just, if you have the time, pause this podcast right now and go watch it.
It's only 2.5 minutes of your life. Go watch it.
Because it is perfection.
I am weeping every time. It's so good.
So the setup is like, it's a ripoff of one of those MTV shows. We couldn't remember which one it was.
I think it's
Maybe
True Life.
I don't know. It's like, you think you know, you think you know, you have no idea. The editing is amazing and it's just great. It just says all these random phrases. And I don't think I'd caught this one before. He's like, you think you know? And he's all like, has all this attitude. And then one of like the little heads is like, I think they're making fun of me.
I never noticed that one. I love that they do all the like interviews in the middle. And one of them, it just says uncomfortable silence.
Yeah. It's great. So it's like the secret life of Jay Hogart. So we see him. He's like, oh yeah, like, I mean, a man's got to do what a man's got to do to like make his money to do. You know what? I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to spend my money on. And he like goes into this alleyway where Sean is waiting for him. And Sean is like, dude, like, you're doing this again. Are you kidding me? And he's like, come on, Sean, like, you got to be there for me.
Oh, and this is like the worst period of Sean's hair.
It's all like the long curly. It's like when he comes back.
And it's like a middle part and it's greasy. It's not good.
But then, and it's like poor Sean is just roped into his shenanigans. And then he like comes out with his hair like flattened down and Jay's hair is like middle parted. And he's got a jacket on and a bow tie and he has an umbrella. And he comes out with a British accent, and Sean is like, the accent comes back. And then we discover that Jay is a manny. And
it's amazing. He's Mary Poppins.
He's just like Jason Poppins.
He's
and he like comes
incredible.
into the house with like triplets, and they're like, Jason! He's like, hello, my little cherubs.
Can we talk about how these 3 little child actors in this one mini are better than every child actor that's ever been on this show?
100%. They're all great. And they're just like playing. It's like, honestly, we can't even describe it because it will not do the real thing justice. Please go watch this mini. It's our favorite. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Jay brings up his car and nitrous oxide.
While he's like reading them a story.
Because he's still Jay. It's the best.
They
just
jump
go
on
watch
the couch.
it.
He hides behind a plant. It's great.
My favorite part was everything.
My favorite part is all of it. Specifically, I think they're making fun of me just because I just discovered that this timer.
I think specifically mine is just Sean saying the accent comes back.
Yes. Least favorite part, Sean's greasy hair.
Seconded.
All right. So episode 206, Sean in prison, is really dramatic.
It's very dramatic and intense, and I feel like they're trying to spoof something, but I don't understand the reference.
I don't either. It's really, really melodramatic. It's like a voice, like Sean's like writing in his prison diary, and it just starts out with like prison.
Yeah, prison is the first line. It's just very like melodramatic, and he does acknowledge that he drives away from his hit and run like a scared little girl.
Yeah, and he's saying like, oh, these things that's happened in my life, like, that were like never my fault, like not even the kid I deafened and was Sega, not even Rick, not even like the man I hit and ran away like a little girl. And he's like, but now it's time for me to like take responsibility for my actions. And he like does
weird push-ups and then he lays
they're
on
like
the
weird
floor.
Dramatic push-ups. He's like doing push-ups and then he like falls on his back and is like, ah, and like puts his hand on his head.
Which like, Sean, that is a prison floor. Don't lay on that. That's disgusting.
He's still wearing a wife beater. He's like working in like the auto shop at the prison, which is that something that exists? I have no idea.
He has a photo of Emma for some reason. Well, not for some reason, but he somehow has a photo of Emma.
I don't know. I don't think it's that hard to get a photo in there. Maybe Emma gave it to him.
Maybe.
And he's like, when I get out of here, I'm going to finally open that shop and things are going to be different.
You're going to go to the army.
And then the episode ends with him like trying to go to sleep, and this like disembodied rapey prison voice is like,
oh my God.
"Hey, pretty boy, like we're gonna show you like that stuff." It's not as great. I don't remember. He's like, "You're not gonna be
weird.
a pretty boy anymore."
It's very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
So my favorite part of this episode was Holland's impression just now of the creepy guy, and my least favorite part of this episode was most of it.
I think my favorite part were the dramatic push-ups. Just because I thought it was funny.
They were fun.
And my least favorite part was the rapey, disembodied voice. I did not care for it. And then the next two episodes that we're going to be talking about are like spoofs of very 2006 shows. So the first one, episode 207, is Lost in Degrassi, which is like a spoof of Lost.
Which I never watched.
I watched Lost. It was a very weak spoof. So Marco and Paige like wake up in the media immersion room, and Paige is like, "I don't know where we are. It's like I've been here before. Like I feel a flashback coming on." And Marco's like, "We have no time for flashbacks," because Lost is like framed it all about like flashbacks of like before they got abandoned on this island. They're like, inform who they are as characters. And it's like a running thing that Paige keeps wanting to have flashbacks, and Marco's like, "Stop it!" And then like numbers flash on the screens, which is also a very Lost thing. But instead of like the Lost numbers, it's 1, 3, 8, 57. And they're like, "What do these numbers?" And I think someone says, "What do these numbers mean?" And then you hear someone off screen say, "Everything." And then they look through the window, and like Jimmy, Spinner, Alex, and Ashley are like standing there ominously, and they're like, "Who are these people? These others?" Which is like another Lost thing, like
that
the
I got
others.
because I've seen a few episodes.
And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's the people who like just can't seem to graduate from our class." And Jimmy is like, "Shut up." He's like, "It hasn't even been a year. Ass."
It was so good. This is when it starts to get really good. I really enjoyed the interactions between the two because I feel like they never addressed that like all of them stayed there for so long.
And then they're like, "What do these numbers mean?" And then Jimmy's like, 1, the number of diplomas that I don't have. Because I don't know. It's like he tries to blame it on them, and they're like, "I don't know what that has to do with us."
And then he like calls Marco valedictorian, and Marco's like, "I don't know how this is my fault."
Right. And then it's like Alex is like, 3, the number of times you told me like I wasn't good enough every day, or something.
I think it was
or
like
just
complained about her own GPA or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And
Paige is like, "Well, you were making out with me all the time. I didn't have time to study.
Yeah.
Maybe if we got some work done."
And then Ashley's like, 8, the number of different fashion styles I had.
Which
Which is great. And then they're like, "Wait, why isn't Ellie here?" And they're like, "She's in the hatch," which is another Lost reference. And they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Miss Kwan's room," which I'm like, okay, sure. And then Spinner's like, 57, the number of times you called me hun, implying I'm dumb. And she's like, "Only 57?
Which, like, that doesn't track. It's got to be more than 57.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Guys, I don't know why you're so upset. Can we just, like, get out of here and go to the dot and, like, have some fun flashbacks there?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
I liked it.
It was fine.
It was sweet.
Yeah.
And then Ellie was typing on the screen that she was still in Miss Kwan's room.
Like, "Get me out of Kwan's room. I don't want to type these numbers in like Desmond." But yeah, it was fine.
I liked it. My favorite part was the interactions between them, and also Ashley talking about how many times her style has changed.
Yes, same. My least favorite part was, I don't know, kind of just how weak the spoof was, I guess.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. All right, cool. Episode 208 is a 24 Hours on the Couch, which is a 24 spoof, which I never watched 24.
Me neither. But I don't think you really needed to.
No, I think you just need to know that the framing of 24 is that it like counts down the time. Which is what it does. So it's Paige and Marco are like on the couch, and they're first are like Paige is getting ready to go out. And she's like, get your party face on, boy. And Marco's like, I just want to stay home. Which I'm like, same, Marco.
Marco gets it.
And then it, like, counts down some stuff. And then they, like, take a nap. And then they're just, like, watching TV. And then Marco's like, oh, Cosby Show marathon. And we're all like, oh, boy.
That reference did not travel well.
Nope. And then, like, fast forward. And then Marco's, like, talking about how he thinks Tori Spelling is underrated. Because, of course, he does. And then at this point, I just wrote down, like, honestly, this looks like a great night. They're just, like, hanging out on the couch doing absolutely nothing.
I know. I wrote down this could be me and Holland on any given weekend.
And then there's, like, a segment where they complain about Ellie, which is fun.
Which is really funny. And they call, like, a Miss Cleo type situation to find out who Paige is going to end up with. And she's like, really dark hair, that's all you have for me?
And then it's like the morning, and then Paige is like, you know what I love? Bacon. And Marco's like, bacon. The second bacon reference in season 2 of Minis. And then, like, the last scene, Paige is like, oh my God, we totally wasted our entire Saturday. We were just, like, we, like, barely left the couch. And Marco's like, I paid the pizza man. Which I'm like, yes, that would be me too. I'm like, whatever. I got off the couch to pay the pizza man. I did something today.
Like I said, this could be me and Holland on any given weekend.
It was cute. It was fine.
I liked it. I love their friendship. It was nice to see it again. I've missed them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really liking about, like, watching these, like, seasons later, is that it's like we get to see all the people we haven't seen in a long time.
Exactly. My favorite part was Marco's insistence, like, that he in fact did get off the couch and paid the pizza man.
My favorite was their entire relationship.
Yes.
It's just a goddamn delight.
My least favorite part was the Cosby Show marathon.
Same.
All right. Well, that is all we are going to be covering today. So that means we're about halfway through the minis. I think there are actually 19. So we are going to have a lot of minis installments for season 2, but we'll try to space them out a little bit. I think we did back to back this week just because we had kind of some travel days. We've been short on time. So we hope that these minis are at least, like, enough to get you through.
We've been away.
And we literally were just on a bus for 4 hours today. So the fact that we have recorded 2 back-to-back minis episodes is like a miracle in and of itself.
Yep.
A peek behind the curtain. But thank you guys all for listening.
We love you.
We love you guys. And goodbye, Panthers.
Bye, Panthers.